Uh, hi, hi team. This is Purushottam from JobsHorn. Today we are discussing about US immigrations and visas. These are the main topics in the US IT recruitment. Uh, First one, the introduction to the US immigrations. Uh, the immigrations means the process of peoples who are coming from other countries to the United States to live, stay, or work and study or visit and live. It produces the governed who can enter, stay, and become a permanent residents or citizens of the United States. And Understanding the basics of U.S. immigrations is crucial for uh, purpose for business, educationals, and institutions, and etc. The main key aspects of U.S. immigrations means there are some types of immigrations. The mostly important in we are discussing about two immigrations like non-immigrant and second one is immigrant visas. The immigrant visas are short-term visas. Short-term visas means the persons who are going to stay for short term only, like vacations, tours, medic- medical, and for study also. These are all comes under non-immigrant. And immigrant means the persons who are planning to live, work, and they need to settle in US permanently. These are under comes under immigrant visas. And the naturalization means the process of permanent residence becomes a US citizen. So that means the permanent residence means green card holders. The green card holders who are working in US are staying in more than 10 years. They are planning to work, stay in US, and they are getting to citizenship. That is called neutralization. And refuge and asylum program means the peoples who are feeling danger or threat in our home countries, that peoples can apply visas for asylum program. These peoples are need to apply through asylum program. They will get visa for to stay in another foreign countries. And here we go with some reference link. You can check with the link for immigrations. There are so many types of immigrations like family based immigrations, non-immigrant and immigrant way. And here where you can check employment based immigrations and permanent immigrations, non-permanent immigrations. There are so many types of immigrations. If you need to check, you can go with this link. We will learn more about this. And the next topic is visas and work permits. These are the most important topic in USID recruitment. You need to focus on focus on this mainly. And the first one is visa. Visa is an official document that allows to holders to stay in foreign countries. And These visas are given to the peoples who are going to foreign countries for such a purpose purpose of travel, like tourism, work visa, educational visa, medical visa, and business visas, and etc. like this. These are the purpose of visas and key components of visa. You can check with this. Here are the 5 points of main points of visas. That means visa types, duration, conditions, and validity, and entry points. And here we will provide the reference link for this one. Please look at it. Here you can look some more work visas, travel visas, tourist visas, student visa, business visa, asylum visa, and holiday visa, and more about this. You can look at this page. You need to learn more about these visas. And the next topic is work permit. The work permit means the persons who are entering into foreign countries, they need to work. If they need to get official work authorization, without an work authorization they can't able to work in US. uh, Work authorizations can come from mainly in 3 points. First one is specific non-immigrant visas. Like non-immigrant means H1B, L1. These are like short-term visas. And second one is EAD. EAD means Employment Authorization Document. We will discuss about this in next slide. And third one is permanent resident status. This is like a green card. It's also called as permanent resident. We can discuss in next slide. Please look on it. Here we go with types of visas. Please look into the screen. These are the types of visas. These are the main types of visas in we are using daily in recruitment. And the first one is student visa. In student visa, we comes under F1 OPT. OPT means optional training. CPT curricular. CPT means curricular practical training. And another one is F2. Uh, you can go with next visas: H visa, B visa, E visa. In H visa, it comes under H1B, H4, H4 EAD. In B visa means business visas like B1 and B2. And E visa means E3, E3D. And another one is L visa, L1, L2. And this is like NAFTA. It comes under TN visas. Here we go with permanent status like GCEAD, green card, US citizen. These visas are comes under permanent status. Uh, we are going with the first visa like F1 visa. F1 visa. These visas are only applicable for students who want to do their academic studies in other countries. And the next point is the F1 visa holders can do part-time job within part-time job with 20 hours of a week. This is the main point. And F1 visa is valid for the length of the academic program. For example, if a candidate went to the US to study, the they will apply for the universities in the USA. Once he is accepted into a master's program in computer science at a US university, they apply for an F1 visa. Upon he get an approval, they travel to the US and they need to maintain the full student status. And the next visa is F2 visa. F2 visas are dependent visas. Dependent means spouses, children's, for those one only. And F2 holders are not permitted to work in US. And the spouses may only study part time, while children can study full time at the K2 level. That means children are eligible to study, but the spouses are not eligible to study in US. For example, you can take Jan is a candidate. He is living in US. Jan is an F1 visa holder studying in US. His spouse wants to stay with him, so she applies for an F2 visa. The F2 visa allows her to live with John in the US, but she cannot work or pursue a degree. That's it, guys. And we are go with CPT EAD. CPT EAD means curriculum practical training. These visas are suitable for who want to do internships in other countries. These students suit for this visa, but the students want to enroll in some college they they're pursuing. CPT visas holders can do part-time job with 20 hours of a week, and also they can work more than 20 hours during the school breaks, like holidays and weekends. At the time they can work more than 20 hours. And the CPT validity is for only 1 year validity. For example, John, you can take as example as a name John. John is an FN student studying a master's in data science. Is required to complete an internship as a part of his education. He applies an internship with a tech company and applies for CPT authorization through his university. Once his university approves the CPT, he can legally work full time at the company during the summer breaks or part time during his classes. And next one is OPT EAD. OPT means optional practical training. The work authorization that allows international students to work in the US in a job directly related to their major or field of study. It allows students to gain practical work experience directly related to their education after completing their degree program. The OPT is valid for 1 year. After 1 year, if his degree is in a STEM field, STEM means science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. uh, those who are in STEM field, then he can apply for a STEM OPT extension, which allows him to work additional 2 years. For example, you can take candidate same as Jan. Jan is an F1 student who recently completed his education from university. He wants to work, then he applies for a post completion OPT to gain work experience in the US. Once he got the approval for OPT EAD card, then he can work for full time up to 12 months in a software development role related to this field of study. Since his degree is in a STEM field, we already discussed about STEM, right? If this degree is in a STEM field, then he can apply for a 24 months STEM OPT extension, allowing him to work in the US for a total of 36 months. These 24 months will only possible for STEM OPT, STEM field candidates only, not for any other candidates. And next slide, we will go with another visa. This is the H1B visa. H1B visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows US employers to hire foreign workers, or in other words, H1B visa is given for individuals who are coming to the US to work. It is commonly given for professionals in the technology, engineering, healthcare, medical, or financial and academic sectors. The H1B visa is given for 3 years of period. After 3 years of completion, the candidate will ask for extension to another 3 years. The total duration of H1B visa is 6 years. For example, you can take a candidate as Arun. Arun is an Indian with a bachelor degree in computer science. He receives a job offer from US tech company for a software engineer position. Then the company sponsors his H1B application, and after USCIS approval, Arun will receive an H1B visa. He can now work for the company for up to 3 years. If the project extends, then they apply for extension up to 3 more years. And here we are look it like I-79. This is the process of getting a H1B application. I-79 is a H1B approval notice, and in this approval notice we can go with three options like I-79A, I-79B, and I-79C. I-79A is original approval notice with I-94 attachment, and I-97B is an original approval notice. If does not attach with I-94, this means the petition itself is approval, but extension of stay is not approval. I-79C copy is the approved petitions. That's it about H1B visa. And the next one is H4 EAD. H4 EAD is dependent of H1B visa. Dependent means spouses, children's, etc. And H4 visa holders not authorized to work in USA. If they want to work, they have to apply for EAD. The spouses are eligible for within under 21 years. And we can go with the example. Take a candidate as a Purushottam, an Indian software engineer, is an H1B visa and works in USA. If his wife wants to come and stay with John in USA, then she need to apply for H4 visa. Once H4 visa is approved, she can travel to USA to live with John. If she want to work, then she will need to apply for H4 EAD. And another visa is H4 GCEAD. GCEAD is a temporary work permit visa given to the individuals who are in the process of getting a green card. GCEAD is valid given for only 1 or 2 years. For example, take a candidate as Anil. Anil is working in USA with H1B visa and he applied for green card. Getting green card approval, it take more time around like 1 or 2 years. Meanwhile, if his current H1B visa is going expiry before his green card approval, then he will be given GCEAD to continue his work and stay in USA until his green card is approved. And next topic is here we go with the GCEAD means validity period and travel rights not tied to employer. Uh, Not tied to employer means GCEAD candidates specific allowing holders to flexibility to switch job freely. They can change their job without any employer. They can freely change their job and they can look into work any other jobs also. And the another one is green card visa, GC. A green card, it is also known as a permanent resident card. A green card holder is authorized to work for any employer and have most of the benefits of US citizen, except right to vote. They can get everything like citizens without any work or right to vote. They can live and work in USA as long as they maintain their status. And we'll go with US citizens. US citizens means a person who was born in USA. This person called as US citizens. These peoples have a right to vote, right to buy properties, bank loans, vote. They are eligible to work government jobs and etc. Same like we are in India, we have we have we are even getting which rights in India. Same same. They are also getting all rights in US citizens also. For example, a US citizen with a background in data engineering applies for a job and does not require any visa sponsorships or any other additional documents to work. And another visa is E3 visa. E3 visa is given to Australian citizens who want to work in the USA. E3 visa given by candidates only validity with 2 years of time. For that can be extended for another 2 years as many as time. For example, you can take a candidate as Sarah, just assume an Australian citizen and working as a data scientist in Australia. If she want to work in USA, she will be given E3 visa for stay and work up to 2 years. And next visa is E3D visa. E3D means dependent visa to E3, and the E3D holders has right to work in USA. And another visa is TN visa. TN TN means it stands for Trade NAFTA, NAFTA. NAFTA means North American Free Trade Agreement. I will repeat again. NAFTA means North American Free Trade Agreement. In this TN visa, there are two types of TN visas like TN1 and TN2. TN1 for Canada, the TN1 visa, which is given to Canadian citizens, and TN2 visa, which is given to Mexican citizens in USA. Uh, for example, you can take a candidate as Vinay. Uh, Vinay is a Mexican citizen with experience in network engineering. He receives a job offer from a US company for a network engineer role. Then he qualifies for an TN visa, allowing him to in the US. And another visa is L1 visa. This is a deputation visa. Companies will offer this visa to their workers. The visa is only valid for 2 years, the minimum 2 years only. It will given only to the internal purpose only, because like company transfers, internal transfers, these type of situations they will give you L1 visas and L2 EAD. L2 visa is dependent to L1. If L2 get EAD, he or she can allow to work in USA. If any dependent visa need to work in USA, they must need to get EAD copy. EAD means the work agreement. They need to get. Without an EAD, we can't work in USA. Here we go with the reference link. Please check into this. Here you can look into the visa classification. There are more types of visas. same like H1B, GC, GCAD, L1, TN. Yeah, that's it. You can check this link after. And next topic is employment authorization document. We already discussed like this topic like EAD. EAD means employment authorization document. The EAD allows foreign nationals to work legally in US. It contains some eligibility. Like I already said that F1 students need to get OPT EAD to work in uh, off campus, and they need to work weekly 20 hours per week, and school holidays they can work more than 20 hours per week. At that time they need to get definitely they need to get OPT EAD. And asylum applicants, asylum means I have already explained it, right? The person who are feeling threat or danger in their own home country, they will apply for this applicant visa process. And H4 dependent spouses, I have already discussed, right? H4 means dependent visas. They need to work in US, they must be applied for EAD. Once they get EAD, they will allowed to work in US. This is the some process, application process time, validity, employment, and some restrictions and renewals. Like application means you need to apply EAD, you need to fill I-769 form and some documentations and ID proofs and some mandatory fees to pay for this application. And the typically time is it will take nearly 3 to 5 months, and it will take more than the or else less than that time. And the validity is usually 1 or 2 years. And if you need to extend, you can renewal. And it can allows H4EAD can allows to work all employers in the US, and you need to follow some specific rules and regulations and some travel restrictions. And you need to maintain must and should maintain EAD to work without expiring. These are all the about the EAD. And we are yeah, here we go with the reference link. Please look into it. Yeah, you can look into it. Employment authorization documents. Here you can get more details about the EAD and the eligibilities, category designations, what are the restrictions, what are the rules and regulations. Most each and every detail in you can get this. If you have time, please look into it, this link. And the next topic is a green card versus US citizenship. You can look into the screen. Here are the some differences like green card and US citizenship. Green card is also called as permanent residence. Here are some differences I have mentioned. You can look into it. And the first one is must you need to renew the green card with every 10 years. In citizenship, no need to renewal, no need to renewal. And green card holders are not allowed to vote in federal elections. And US citizens can vote all elections. Can be revoked under certain conditions, cannot be revoked except fraud. And here are some more points you can read. And here are the look inside. Here is a note point. Green card holders may apply for US citizens after 5 years of permanent residence. The green card holders who is living in more than 5 years, they can apply for US citizenship, or else the green card holder who is married to US citizens, they need to get your citizenship after 3 years of after their marriage. And the here is dual citizenship. The dual citizenship means you can live like a citizen in two places. Like I am a citizen in India. If I get citizenship in US, I am the citizen in both the countries, USA and in India. But this dual citizenship is only allowed in US countries only. In any other foreign countries, they can't allow dual citizenship. That's it. And you can go with next slide. Here you are going with the tips for recruiters. I will share some tips how to. Uh, here we can check tips for recruiters. When hiring foreign natural nationals, we need to know some rules. And the first thing is understand the visa options. You need to must to know all the visa types and available and what each one requires. This helps to match candidates to the right visa type. And second one is plan ahead. Some visas have limits on how many can be issued and strict filing deadlines. And third point is consider the alternatives. If one visa is not available, just look into it, some other visa types. Mm, and the fourth point is partner with experts. Work with immigration attorneys or specialists who knows the rules well and help guide you through the process. And the fifth point is be transparent. Explain the visa process clearly to the candidate so they can know what to expect and how long it might take. And the sixth point is stay compliant. Follow all US labors and immigration laws to make sure everything is done legally and correctly. And prepare for the long term. Think about long term visas and residency options for employees you want to keep in the company, and develop a diverse pipeline. That means build a connection with universities and professional groups to find a wide range of talented candidates from different backgrounds. And next topic is challenges in hiring foreign workers. You can see here uh, there are five more points. And the first point is complex visa process. Understanding and managing different visa types and their requirements can be confusing and time consuming. And the second point is limited visa availability. Some visas like H1B are limited each year, making it harder to secure them for every candidate. H1B visas are very less low by using annual cap. That's why the it will take limited one. And the timing issues. Many visas have specific filing periods or long waiting times, and they can delay the hiring process and etc. These are the timing issues we will face in hiring foreign workers. And the fourth point is cost. Sponsoring a visa can be costly due to application fees and legal expense. By applying the visas, it will take some more cost. That's why we need to learn all the details and everything for this. And the fifth point is cultural integration. Employees often need to support foreign workers as they adjust to new work culture. You need to adjust a work culture, and you need to some. It will take some time to work in US culture. And the last point is public perception. Hiring foreign workers can raise concerns among some people about prioritizing foreign hires over local workers. Uh, these are the some points I will show you, like hiring foreign workers and the challenges. That's it, guys, today. Uh, Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the Shraddam, thanks for the nice session. And team, any questions so far before I continue the briefing thing? Yeah, no, this is a vague topic for everyone because it's a new topic and it's a vague topic for everyone. Here, we need to understand, why work visa is and what is work visa and how a country will process a work visa. So first thing is work visa means work visa or any visa basically is we want to the country person the country government has to approve any person to visit a country or they can ban the person also. These are the two things what everyone has to understand. And same thing like any foreigner want to come into India or any country, Mexico or any other country, they want to approve, they want to apply for a visa process. So once the visa is approved, then only they can travel to any country. So that's called port of entry. But the port of entry, they will be checking what type of visa you are getting into, and they will be recording you under that visa, and you will be entered, and you will be given a time, how many days you can stay, or how many years you can stay, like that. Depends on the visa type. So that's the thing. So anyone who want to get a visa, they want to go through the respective country consulate in their home country. Like in India, if you, we have consulates in many different cities, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, and Hyderabad, and many Calcutta. Also, we have a few embassies of individual countries. So where our guys will go and apply the visa for that particular country. The same thing for America also. Like there are multiple consulates where we'll apply for the visa, and then once it is approved, then we'll travel. So that is for the tourist visa and business visa, something like that. But to work visa, the first process has to be approved in United States. So not the work other way around. So once the visa is approved, once it's not called visa here, it is called H-1B petition. H-1B petition, L-1 petition, these are all called petitions. So that petition has to approve here first, and then we have to go for the visa stamping. Once it is visa is approved, then you are assigned a visa number. That means you are good to travel. So that is the process here. Once you get the visa number and you have an allotted, you get an allotted like a number, and then at the port of entry they use that number to track whether the number is valid number or is a genuine number or not. Then you will be allowed into the country. So once you are allowed into the country, you are in that particular H-1B record or under H-1B status or whatever the status you come into, and you can live long until your visa is expired. That is the process. And in the meantime, whoever comes into US, not everyone are allowed to work. Only certain visa types of people are allowed to work. Just like in India, if any Russian comes to India to visit, they will come under to a tourism visa. And the same thing, like if there's someone foreigner works come here to visit, that is different. But if they come here to work, they need to get an Indian work visa. So same way any other country it is. And if you want to get a work visa, some company has to approve it. Some company has to sponsor you. Not you cannot say, I'm going to work in United States. Please grant me visa. You cannot go say like that. A company has to sponsor your visa first thing. To sponsor your visa, a company has to put in a lot of efforts and a lot of documentation and everything in place so that you will get a uh, you will be represented through a company so that your petition will be filed in United States, and then you can go for stamping. So without company approval, you cannot apply for a work visa. That is for H-1B. So E3 visa and TN visa are pretty much the same. Everything has to be backed by a company only that is registered in US and operating in US. So that is the main criteria to get a work visa. And for TN visa and other people, there is no need of for certain TN2 visas like TN visas. For TN visa, company sponsorship is needed, but for TN2 who are allowed for Mexicans, they can apply on their own because that is a flexibility given to the bordering countries to United States. So that is a main thing which you have to understand. So each visa type is like they created each visa type for specific for purpose. Only who are eligible to it, and everything is written in the link what we had kept in this presentation. You can go through all those details, but main thing you want to understand is as a recruiter, you don't need to care about all other visa types. All you have to care is just look for what are the work visas. Okay, and that is the main thing you have to understand, and you have to analyze also how many work visas are there in United States. So that's the thing you have to understand. Once you make a list of it, you just write it down like 2 or 3 lines per each visa type for your understanding, and make sure you document it thoroughly so that you'll not get confused between each visa type. So there will be H1 example is H1B visa is one thing, and for that H1B visa there will be H4 EAD. So what is the main visa and what is the derived visa? Basically, it's called H1B and H4 EAD dependents. So derived visa is a H4 is a derived visa, and H4 EAD H4 people can apply for work authorization only if primary visa person has I-140 approved. So if you don't know I-140, I'll just tell you what it is. For getting naturalization, like in America, if you want to become a citizen coming from other countries, there is a set of process you have to follow. What the steps are: the first thing is labor certificate has to be approved. The second thing is I-140. It's called intent to immigrant application. It is I-140. That is intent to immigrant application. Once it is approved, then your derived visa people can, your spouses, your children cannot apply. Your spouses can apply for work visas. And once they get the approval of a work visa, they can work for any company. So the difference between H1B and H4 EAD is H1 people has to work for only the company that has sponsored the visa. H4 AD are not like that. Even though they are derived visas, they can work for any company. There is no restrictions on where they work and what type of job they do. There are no such kind of restrictions for H4 EAD or any kind of EADs other than STEM and OPT EADs. The STEM and OPT PD EADs are I'll tell them later. But for H4 EAD people, they can work for any visa. J2 EAD and they can L2 EADs. And there are different kinds of EADs. You can go check it out how many types of EADs are there. I think it's furnished in this document. But for EAD people, other than OPT and CPT, they can work for any kind of job. But OPT and CPT people, they definitely want to work in the areas of their education. So I'll tell a little bit about OPT, CPT. OPT and CPT is derived from uh, is a benefit of coming into United States on F1 visa for study purpose. Whoever comes here on study purpose, they will be granted for practical training. There are different levels of practical training. One is CPT and OPT, but mostly using CPT is not a good thing unless you don't have any choice. Usually, using OPT is the best way. And when you are asking about any student, like we need to ask them if they any F1 student apply for any job. We need to ask them, do you have any work authorization to work to be represented? So without any work authorization, you cannot do anything. So main thing we have to ask for as a recruiter, you need to ask is if any non-work visa person or any dependent work visa person comes into your contact, you need to ask them, do you have any work authorization? If you have any work authorization, then you need to ask, do you have SSN? These are the legal questions which you can ask. These are not illegal questions. These are legal questions. If they don't have SSN, still that is fine. They can go apply for it. As long as they have work visa, we can represent them. We can work with them. SSN is not mandatory, guys. Like make a note, a clear note of this one. This is employment regulations. SSN, like just like PAN card and Aadhaar card in India, you don't need to have SSN in America to work. To start working, not work, to start working. And they definitely need to have a work authorization. Any kind of work authorization they need to have in order to even represent them. So that is the main difference between having work authorization and having work SSN. So make a note of this one. This is where your key life is. If you work with any person without a work authorization, that's a bummer for you, and you'll be called for a manager meeting or something like that. So you need to be careful in this kind of working with what kind of visa people you are working with. And once you find out like they are working, they have work authorization, you are good to go. You can represent them for any positions what you are working on. So that's the thing is about work visas. But when you main thing as I said yesterday, equal employment opportunity, you definitely need to consider the same thing what we thought you yesterday. So equal employment opportunity is the thing which plays a key role here. A recruiter should never discriminate. The recruiter company or hiring person, anyone in the company who are in hiring capacity, hiring roles, they should not show any kind of discrimination between visa type applicants and green card and citizen guys. So you may think like, okay, if I get a US citizen and like, I can do it all the placement easily. But the main thing is that is a discrimination. As I said yesterday, like anyone can apply for any job. Same thing applies here also. Anyone can apply for any job. You have to justify them. We are not, say, for example, if we are not able to sponsor H1B, like a company has to represent, right? If you are not in a position to sponsor H1B, you have to politely tell them we are not in a capacity to sponsor work visa for this position. That is legally correct. What is illegal is you should not apply for a position. This position is only for US citizens, green card holders. If you talk like that, that is a discrimination. If you say you applied for it, that is well and good. But we are in a position where we cannot sponsor any work visa for this position. That is the right answer for this kind of situations. And at the same time, there are some positions where only US citizens are required, where the US citizens are required, or green card holders are required. Even some positions, green card holders are not eligible. You clearly make a note of this one. US citizens can go through level one security, and there are like some other background checks, top secret and top security. So these kind of security clearances can be done only for US citizens only. And some banks required in a position in a bank, or if you're handling with financials, if you're handling some very top insurances thing, not all insurances, but in even an insurance company also, there are certain positions where you will be dealing with a lot of money, lot of people information, those things like that. And there are some secret projects also in a company where they will not be disclosed to even government also. They will not disclose what kind of projects they are working on. So these are the kind of things like those are positions where US citizen isn't required. And we for those kind of positions, if you are working, your company is working for those kind of positions, you are absolutely fine asking only for US citizens only, because your position requires US citizens. So that is not a discrimination. You clearly need to mention that, because of this restriction, we need only US citizens for this position. And there are some other positions like where you need normal like a little less security clearances. They are only eligible for US citizens and green card holders. In that case also you can mention, because of this security reason, we can hire only green card holders and US citizens. But for normal position, if you are hiring for a Java developer, a project manager, anyone, you cannot specify that I need only this particular visa type, visa people or something like that. And you cannot ask like, no, I don't care. I don't want US citizen. I don't want green card holders. I want only H1Bs like that. I am looking for only H1B transfer people. You cannot mention like that also. So these are the key things what you have to understand as a recruiter. That is why we brought up like employment, so equal employment opportunity yesterday and today. It is visa types. So mostly when you're dealing with these kind of visa people, you need to be extra cautious. Otherwise, you'll be called for a meeting or your company might get into trouble that you are asking for very specific visa categories in your hiring process. So that should not be a case for anyone. So you definitely need to understand like work visas, and you have to understand how to talk to them, what kind of documents you need to ask, and all those things. It has to be justifiable, and you can ask like few things also. In some positions, like some companies, they sign a treaty with government. They say we will never hire any immigrant visa people. That is the rule of the company. If company says we cannot, in that case, like even though that is a condition with the company, you cannot say that I cannot. No H1Bs, no L1s, no OPTs, CPTs. You cannot mention the exclusive that these visa types should not apply for this position. You should not never say that kind of words in your requirements. All you have to say is, please, we cannot sponsor work visas. Like there is no sponsorship available for this position. That is the only line you have to mention. And you should not mention only GC, only US citizens has to apply for this one. You cannot mention that one also. All you have to say is sponsorship is not available for this position. That's all. That is a very legal term, and anyone can understand. Okay, if there is no sponsorship available for this position, I will not be applying for the position because I'm on H1B. I will not apply for it. So that company will not hire me, even though if I apply for it. So that is a polite way, and that is a legal way how a recruiter has to hire for any look for any talent people in America. So that's the main topic, guys. Like other than that, a recruiter don't need to care much about anything else. And we already discussed like how polite and how to communicate and everything. And the work visa is an additional thing which every recruiter has to learn, unless the company which you are working will not sponsor any work visas. Then you are good to go with hiring only green card holders, EAD people, and US citizens. Okay, that is the main thing. So when you're working with OPT guys, like F1 students, F1 students also there is a tricky thing. So one thing is like OPT has like two stages. Like one is a 1 year OPT, and then they'll get another year OPT. It is called extension and regular STEM OPT. So when you are in STEM OPT, that is fine, and when you are in extension, the people has to be definitely working for a company. So earlier, many people used to apply for OPT ADs, and they never work for any company. But going forward, that will not be the case because the government is looking at it very strictly, because they need to generate revenue to the country. That is what they are looking at it, and they definitely need to show that work status is being maintained properly. You know what work status being maintained means? A OPT or CPT guys definitely need to have an offer letter with the company, and they should have a payroll being running for that company. So the initial OPT period, the one for the first year OPT period, they are fine without any payroll. But second OPT extension, the second year when they get a OPT, they have only 30 days to find a job. If not, their status will become illegal. That's the main thing. So as long as you know these key points, you are good to go. And as a recruiter in working with an US immigrants. Okay, yeah. Any questions, guys? I know this is a vague topic. You have to listen to it multiple times, go through the slides which Purushottam has prepared, and he furnished a lot of material also. and we'll be sharing few more government links where you can go read more information. But as per my guidance, you don't need to study much. Only thing is learn how many types of work visas are there. That is good enough for you. Okay, guys. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we are good for the day.